This time I have 6 questions for Tony Kakko, and Sonata Arctica released their newest album last month, Clear Cold Beyond, but it's not the only one, because now we are gonna talk about his hidden and secret new project called Himcraft. So, would you wanna talk about, in your own words, about this new project called Himcraft? What it's about?
It's a project that originally I thought about, or actually I just came up with the name more than 20 years ago. Must have been like 2000 or 2001, the latest. And it's been evolving and developing slowly ever since that, and found new ways and new forms. And I have written a lot of songs during the years for that project, but all of them have always been stolen by Sonata Arctica for some weird reason. Melodic songs, and they have just found a way to be a Sonata Arctica song. In some point, Himcraft was supposed to be very much Rammstein type industrial metal rock pop kind of band or project, and then in some point it turned out to be more punk type thing, and in some point it was going towards more like black metal or something, which was obviously a totally wrong direction for me to go, because that's not at all my cup of tea. I don't know how to operate on that field of music anyways, and so better leave that to other people. And finally, during the awful years with COVID, at that point I had almost full album ready, and material even actually for more than one full album, and I decided to take a chance and start recording and came up with the right people to work with, and finally we are here. It took more than 20 years, but slow burn.
It took a longer time.
Yeah, it took a long time, yeah.
Yeah, and if you think about the whole process and composition, so was it made on purpose that all the sounds and all the tracks, they are very different between each other?
Yeah, this was some kind of project that I wanted to just do whatever feels really nice, and use sounds and feelings and styles that fit the certain song, and not just trying to cramp everything in one certain style. If there's a ballad, I don't want it to sound like some kind of industrial rock song. Which it might work, but it's still, I don't think it in this project, I don't think it would serve the purpose really. And anyway, Himcraft is a bunch of stories that are all different from each other. It's like a variety of the whole spectrum of life, basically, from underground. And so I think, like in life in general, I think it deserves to have different styles in music as well. But I still think that it has some kind of, it's in a way, at least I think, intact and has some kind of cohesion. It evolves during the album. And anyways, this is just the first album, and then there will be more eventually one day.
Yeah.
And it won't take 20 years.
Yeah.
This time.
And so far it's been released only in Japan,
yeah.
And it was available in Finland in one website called Levykauppa X in Finnish actually. So do you already have an idea when it will be available worldwide, or?
As soon as possible. We just wanted to test the ground a little bit with Japan and give it there, also as a sort of thank you for the fans in a way, and knowing that Japanese labels usually take care of the things really well there, so we wanted to have some kind of sample. This is the way it should be done, maybe a little bit, and now we are finding home for it in the rest of the world. But there will be information about that later, and I think it's a little early still to talk about anything promotion-wise. Anyways, I'm ready to talk about it maybe much more later.
Get ready for it. And then the most interesting question about this, because would you like, or are you gonna perform those Himcraft songs live in the future, possibly?
Well, I've never say never really, but this project, it was not meant to be a live band, but if in some point it becomes viable that I can produce a show that is much bigger than Sonata Arctica show, then definitely and when there's a market for it. But I do not want to have another band besides Sonata Arctica that tours and grinds the tiny clubs around the world. I do not have need for that, but it would be fun sometime after the second album, maybe more, to do a festival or some kind of limited kind of touring experience and see how it works.
Yeah. And then we can talk a little about your newest Sonata album, Clear Cold Beyond. So
much easier to talk about. Really.
Okay, yeah, understandable. So, in my opinion, the track called Angel Defiled is very interesting song because it's at the same time very whimsy and it's flamboyant, and I love the melodies and sounds, and it sounds like very, very good, but I'd just like to know what's the idea behind the song, and can you tell about this? How was it born?
Music comes always first for me, and then lyrics come later, usually. And that's depending on the song. If I get a strong idea what this song is really wants to be about, then the lyrics may just pop up and present themselves really easily. But with this song, it was a little bit painful more. I think it's a fantasy kind of story that I don't even remember all the things that I was thinking about at that point. Anyways, I sort of hate to explain the lyrics because a lot of things go through my mind when I'm writing the lyrics, and the meanings of those lyrics, it changes for me even when time goes by, and this is what I hope people experience as well. When they get more experience in life, they might understand any song they like in a different light, in a different way. Words get new meaning, and that's why I find it a little bit wrong also to explain what the lyrics are about, because some people might get sort of thrown off by the explanation, because they might have a really vivid and a certain idea what this song is about for them, and then I go and slam them with my own ideas and ruin the whole thing, and it's awful. I've heard some pretty out there explanations for some of the Sonata Arctica songs, but that I can say that this is definitely not about that thing. Like there are some Nazi Second World War suffering of Jewish people kind of things for some people, some songs, and it's so far from anything that I was thinking about when I was writing the song that I can't really say. But if this is the way you see the song and understand it, why not? Who am I to say?
Yeah. And now you've been playing with Sonata Arctica these new songs, some shows in Finland already. So how does it feel like when you've been playing the new songs? So did they fit well so far?
I think they do, and it seems like the fans enjoy it as well. It's always the same thing when you go and play the shows for the first time and the new songs. People are more like, staring and listening and paying attention to the musical side of the thing, and then you can see the reaction after the song when they go,
yeah, because they realize that it was good.
It was good, yeah. And there are a lot of people obviously who have never heard some of the songs that aren't actually single songs, like Angel Defiled, which we have been playing on the shows, and unless you have heard the album, then you haven't heard the song. So it's like that. So but so far so good. It seems like the album fits really well in the style of the previous Sonata Arctica stuff, and no problem. There are a lot of other songs as well on the album that we are most likely gonna play in some point in festivals and such. Depending on where we play, really. If we go and play a really like metal festival somewhere, then obviously the set list has to be more metal. But if we go and play some kind of softer festival, we have a lot of material for that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
It feels like you always want to belong in a way. Like you don't want to play ballads only in a metal festival. You're feeling out of place, and then same applies, I think, if you go and play in a pop festival. Although, you know, if you just slam it through, you're not going through those people, especially if you have material that might be more well fitted for that environment. So I don't know, it's always difficult to choose a set list in that sense. That's the pain Sonata Arctica always will have, because we've been writing, or I've been writing songs in such wide
both ones are
range.
good 50-50.
Yeah, absolutely. Something for everybody.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Tony, thank you very much for this interview.
Thanks very much. My pleasure.